Hello, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from. I am Marcia Patrick, Director of Sales for Princess Cruises. I cover the Western United States and Canada. Welcome. Thank you guys for joining us today. I'm going to apologize in advance about Carmen not being able to join us. I'm always her handy dandy sidekick, but it's going to be, you're joining me today because Carmen is not feeling well. So please send her warm wishes and wishes for her quick recovery. But I'm sure she'll be back on our next webinar. But thank you guys for joining us again. And we do have still a lot of exciting content to share with you. So the first thing we're going to talk about, did you guys hear about the fact that we broke a Guinness World Record? So Princess broke the Guinness World Record for one of my absolute favorite things. Margaritas, right? And we just also had National Margarita Day. So we broke the title for most margaritas sold in 8 hours aboard the Regal Princess. Man, do I wish I was there. I would have loved to have been part of that. It's a spectacular accomplishment. And not only did we break the record for the most, I say, I believe we also had the best because that margarita is my favorite. I think we also have a bit of a reel we want to show you. Let's run it.
Today we are making history aboard the Regal Princess. We are trying to break the most margaritas sold in 8 hours. So the record currently is 2,728, and we're aiming for a solid 3,000. Are you ready to begin? Let's count it down in 3, 2, 1, let's begin!
Now you're part of history. Perfect. Yes.
It's going to take 177 bottles of Pentalona's organic tequila, 67 bottles of Cointreau, and 45 bottles of Grand Marnier, not including 11 pounds of salt. We're turning limes into legends here.
If Regal Princess is successful today, the Regal Princess will have its first Guinness World Record title that is only to this ship, but no record is easy to be broken.
You know, I feel the energy. People are rooting. The energy is there. The team is working together beautifully. It's really inspiring to see.
It's not a done deal yet. We're getting close, but I would like to be a little bit closer. Hopefully, we will make history today.
I have to stay and remain impartial, but I hope they break it because then I can try one of the drinks.
You know, we're down to that last hour. I mean, it's looking good, but it's not guaranteed. Fingers crossed.
You're gonna do it.
Are you ready to find out if we broke a world record?
After reviewing all of the evidence, I can confirm that Regal Princess, you achieved a total of 3,410 margaritas. You have achieved a brand new Guinness World Record title. Congratulations, you are officially amazing!
Incredible job!
Say is wow, that's pretty spectacular. And talk about FOMO. I have huge FOMO. I wish I was there. It is my favorite drink. I really should have made sure I was there. Anyway, congratulations to the team on Regal Princess and to Princess in general, because what an amazing accomplishment. All right, let's get started. So of course we're recording this, believe it or not, as long as Carmen and I have been doing this, that's one of the top questions. Will you record it? Absolutely, this is being recorded. We're also going to do a little bit of Q&A at the end, so please stick around. Reminder that we have QR code alert. We do a really good job. Our trade marketing team does an excellent job of supplying QR codes to take you directly to great information all along and through our presentation. And then what's on agenda today? So let's pay attention to this a little bit more carefully because we're switching it up a little bit. So today we're going to start with news, notes, and reminders, and then we're going to talk about the current LTO really quickly. Then we're going to dive into, with a special guest, to talk about South America, the overview for 27 and 28. And then we're going to have the opportunity to talk about 2028 Coral Princess World Cruise, and then a couple of Q&As. So we're just switching it up a little bit. We wanted to be able to get to the news, notes, and reminders because there's some important things in there for you all. So let's kick it off with news, notes, and reminders, as I just promised. So first of all, upcoming in-demand itinerary overview. So we've got some very spectacular opportunities, itineraries that we want to make sure that you're sharing with your clients, and that you're telling them about these special opportunities. As always, we've got that little notification up in the top right corner there, sharing with you that this amazing itinerary, 7-day Canada, New England, with St. John included, round trip New York. We all know our clients and our guests, your clients love round trip, on the beautiful Majestic Princess, October 31st of this year, starting from $146 per person per day. Incredible, right? Like I don't need to, that should be jumping off the page at you. What an incredible opportunity to see this beautiful area of our country for $146 per person per day. Incredible. We also have the 8-day Eastern Caribbean with Puerto Rico and Celebration Key. Like this is a unique opportunity, right? We just started that option with Princess, December 13th, 2026. It's round trip Port Canaveral. Again, also a nice, very nice opportunity to go round trip and do something in one of our new home ports, starting at $132 per person. So this is actually a phenomenal itinerary. Talk about the quintessential relaxation vacation. That's what I consider this to be. So we've got Celebration Key, you've got Grand Turk and Amber Cove, and then Puerto Rico as well. Like that, I think is a really, I might sign up for this one myself. I think I've talked myself into a vacation, December 13th, 2026. And then we've got starting from $175 per person per day. Reminder, guys, like you guys have booked hotels. You know what this is costing to just have a bed to rest in. We're talking about amazing value on this 10-day Japan Explorer, which includes cherry blossoms. So this is March 29th. This one's a little further out, so you got more time to plan. March 29th of 2027. Round trip Tokyo, and it's on the beautiful Sapphire Princess. So an amazing opportunity and lots of time to figure out all the stops that you're going to be going to and all the wonderful sights you're going to see. So make sure you're telling your clients about this beautiful opportunity. And then we've got starting from $162 per person per day. It's the 12-day European capitals, round trip Southampton. And this is, of course, from London, on the amazing Star Princess, our newest ship in the fleet, and she is the star of the fleet. This is for October 24th of 2026. So this is coming up, but again, still some opportunity to plan. Look at the stops on this particular itinerary. It's Copenhagen, Hamburg. I've had the opportunity to be at Hamburg, and it is beautiful. Rotterdam, Brussels, also including some Paris and Normandy for Le Havre. This is an amazing opportunity. And again, $162 per day per person is phenomenal. And you can't beat that on Star Princess. I'm actually quite surprised. So make sure you're telling your clients about this wonderful opportunity as well. Just a reminder about the Princess Academy. So our 2025 refresher season ends April 1st. So we've extended this just a little bit for you so that we can maybe have a smaller gap between when this refresher is available versus the new ones that are coming. So please make sure that you get your refreshers done, especially if you have a trip coming up and you want to have your Academy benefits. Make sure that you get this done before they're no longer available on April 1st. We are estimating the new refreshers will be available in May, but we don't, we want to tell you ahead of time so we don't have that little uncomfortable gap or maybe you had a trip in the middle and you didn't have an opportunity to get updated on your refresher. So get these done now by April 1st. Okay, we have an update to our service charges. Starting March 8th, we're going to implement the $1 per guest per day increase to the crew appreciation. This is also going to be shared with you in our communication from Carmen. So you'll get more information on that, but there is an increase starting March 8th. And then addition to that, the food and beverage service charges are being adjusted from 18 to 20%. I personally feel like the crew and, deserves every penny. And this is, I think, phenomenal for them, although I know it's a change for you. As a reminder, though, if you have purchased Princess Plus or Premier, it's like another reason why this package is so valuable. Then this does not change, right? So it's already included in the package, and we're not changing any of the pricing there. So there's no change if you have Plus and Premier at this moment. So another reason to sell those packages, even though they sell themselves. Polar Online update. So the cancellation reason code or field in Polar Online has been changed. So it will become available and required effective March 9th. So this already took place because we're a little bit past the 9th. But if you've been in Polar Online, you've noticed that the cancellation reason code is now required. And we just want to know what the cancellations are for. And so you now have to put that information in. Before it used to be optional. All right, and our signature sale. So that's coming to an end. You have until March 17th to take advantage of the signature sale that's been ongoing for a while now. We hear you. We hear your feedback. We know that you like promotions that have a ramp to them and that give you some time to get the message out to your clients. And so we're coming to the end on this one of March 17th. So make sure that if you have guests that want to participate in this sale, that they're getting booked before the 17th. The deposits are $99 and you're getting up to a $600 instant savings on the signature sale. And there's also a QR code there for your sales tools and any help that you might need. Grand Circle Pacific offer. We've extended this until March 17th. So this is a phenomenal opportunity. So the 2027 Grand Circle Pacific has been on sale for a little while now. And we had this amazing deal. So if you purchase Princess Plus, you are automatically getting Princess Premier. So for the price of Princess Plus, it's incredible. You also get a $2,000 onboard credit. This is a phenomenal opportunity for those who have the Grand Circle Pacific on their life list, that they want to see the world with Princess. And what better way to do it than in an all-inclusive fashion with the best package we have to offer at Princess Premier. Basically, it includes everything, right? And if you add that up, you know what a phenomenal deal this is because, the per day price is incredible. Get booked now. And again, there's some tools there for you with the QR code. Okay, insider sneak peek. So, the signature sale ends on March 17th. We've got an amazing sale starting for you on the 18th, and you guys are getting the insider scoop. So it's a spring savings sale that will start on the 18th and run through April 30th. We are not sharing a whole lot of details about it just yet, but do know that there will be something else just as great available to your guests starting the 18th. Seminars at sea. So when I looked at the pre-registration questions, there were lots of questions about how to get on a Princess ship and how to learn more about selling Princess. And I'm so excited to see you all so engaged and excited about these opportunities. So we want to share with you that we do have some great opportunities to do a seminar at sea with Princess. What's a seminar at sea? A seminar at sea is where we give you a reduced rate so that you can sail on one of our ships with one or two of our very knowledgeable business development managers, and they provide training during this cruise, and then some insider tips and tricks, and then some special events also will take place for this group while you're on board with us. But what better way to learn about our brand and to know how to sell us than to experience it yourself? And so these are great opportunities. There's a QR code that will take you to the listing. These are available on OneSource. So you can take a look at what we have available. These are the dates, these are the ships. And then you can decide which one works best for you and sign up right online on OneSource. So please join us. We've got some great opportunities with round trip Port Canaveral, round trip Vancouver, round trip LA, another Port Canaveral, and then also a round trip New York. So pretty much something for everybody. So please join us. We'd love to have you, and we'd love to help you learn more about Princess. Reminder about the Captain Circle number. We talk about this almost every Connect with Princess. Just a reminder that you definitely want to have your client's Captain Circle number, and you want to use that when you are doing a price quote. because there are some offers that are available only to a particular person that are listed with the Captain Circle number. So if you don't put that number in, you may not be getting the best deal that's available to your client. So make sure you put that number in. All right, we are to the good stuff. We are to the place where we're going to talk about 2027 and 2028 South America and do an overview. And I promised you a special guest, and I'm super excited to have Kyle Dunst joining us. He's the manager of deployment and itinerary planning for Princess. He's part of an award-winning team. Hi, Kyle. How are you today?
Hey, good. How are you?
I am great. So these are some great pictures. I would like to ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself. First of all, that picture where you've got what looks like a reindeer, like that's very intriguing.
Yeah. So that was actually on a Princess cruise tour up in Alaska last summer.
Wow.
So,
Wow, that's amazing.
And
And you have on shorts.
I'm strangling it, and I promise I'm not. It was a very happy yeah.
Okay, now because I see you in Alaska in shorts, I've got to ask, where do you reside? Where do you live?
I live in upstate New York, so yeah, 60
okay.
degrees is shorts weather for me. Yeah.
There you go. That makes sense now. And how long have you been with Princess?
I've been with Princess about 3 years now, and prior to that, I was in the airline industry for most of my career.
Amazing, Kyle. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm so excited to have you. Your team does such a great job of delivering on these amazing itineraries for us. And it's nothing like having like an expert to go through the new offerings with us. So thank you. And if you'd like, I'll continue with the slides for you.
Absolutely, sure. All right, so here to talk about initially South America for 27-28, which just went on sale. So South America continues to be one of the most popular areas of the world for us. It's hard to get to, but on cruise is a really good way to just see the variety of different ports and destinations. So we are continuing to just see really good success with these voyages. So we will be returning in 27-28 on board Majestic Princess, which we deployed in 26-27 as the largest ship to ever go to that region. So our Royal class, beautiful ship. What's really cool is that she actually has a covered climate control pool. So you can be sailing through Antarctica while sipping margaritas in the pool. So
I've been on Majestic and I forgot about that. That is perfect for this itinerary.
Yeah, definitely. All right, and so we have 3 departure port options. So the main ones being Buenos Aires, which is how you get down to Antarctica, but also San Antonio, which is Santiago, Chile, for some of our Patagonia Cape Horn voyages. And what's really cool is that the Majestic will be coming from the UK during her summer Europe season. So you can combine a really cool transatlantic crossing that goes straight into the South America season with a Cape Horn voyage. So 37 days going all the way from London to Santiago, Chile.
Pretty amazing.
All right, so going through the actual itineraries. So the first kind of main category we have is what we call our Cape Horn voyages that go around the southern tip of South America. And include some of the most beautiful glaciers and fjords in the world. So you can see they go open jaw. We have one going from Buenos Aires to Santiago. Some of the highlights are Puerto Madryn, the Falkland Islands, where you can actually see penguins. And then doing a scenic cruising of Cape Horn, which is the southern tip of South America. Doing scenic cruisings through the Beagle Channel Fjords and Glacier Alley, which was brand new for us in the 26-27 season. So we actually haven't done this yet. But Sapphire Princess, who was just down there, the ship was actually doing some trial runs and scoping it out. And what we've heard from our marine operations team is that it's just going to be absolutely incredible. So we're really excited to be bringing that back for this next season as well.
Amazing.
And then this is basically the same itinerary, just in reverse. So you have the option if you want to do Chile first and then Argentina to do this one. And then we have what we're really excited about is our return to Antarctica. So these are round trip from Buenos Aires, so pretty easy to get to. With some of the highlights, you also get some of the Patagonia. So you get to go to Ushuaia, which is where the Tierra del Fuego National Park is, Punta Arenas, Falkland Islands for the penguins. But then you also get 5 full days of scenic cruising down in Antarctica. And what's really cool is that every voyage is completely different. You will not see the same thing that they will on the next voyage, because as you can imagine, the climate and everything down there is always changing. And our onboard navigational team just does a really good job of crafting and making sure that in that 5 days, you get to see the very best of Antarctica. So really cool experience.
On Facebook, I follow a couple of the Princess fan pages, and the pictures that people were sharing from this voyage were phenomenal. Like they look like professional photos because it was just so beautiful. And these were just our guests taking pictures with their cell phones, right? It really was like inspiring. I was like, oh my goodness, I've got to get on one of these voyages, because what you get to see is like probably life-changing.
Definitely. And just the fact that you're down there for 5 days straight, and it's long daylight hours that time of year down there. So you really just have almost a full week of just breathtaking scenery. Yeah. And then here's the 37-day that I was talking about. So Majestic will be coming from Southampton, where she's based in the summer season. So we have this really cool transatlantic crossing that it's very unique, because usually we're positioning between North America and Europe,
right.
And this, we're going straight down. So it's good to go to some places that we rarely ever go to. So some of the Atlantic islands like Funchal, the Canaries, and then doing the coast of Brazil, so Fortaleza, Rio, before getting to Buenos Aires, going straight into that Cape Horn voyage. So
amazing. And then we've got some great tools for you too. So South America tools are here with the QR code. We've got a reference flyer for you, so you can have all the details. And like, if you're like me, you can't memorize everything. So we put it right here in a handy dandy packet for you. So make sure you scan this QR code and go directly to the area for the information on South America sales tools. And of course, it's also always in one source. So if you miss the QR code, you can find it under sales and marketing on one source. And of course, we've got the South America at a glance flyer as well, which I have heard from our travel advisors they find very helpful. So it gives you some of the highlights that Kyle has taken the time to share with us here. And again, it's all in one nice place, and we leave a little place there where you can dual brand it. You can put your information, your agency info, and your contact info, and share it out to your clients so they can get back to you about all their questions and how to book their cruise with Princess. And then groups are open for sale. They open on the 17th. So just as a reminder, we are no longer doing the early booking period for the Captain Circle guest. So now what we do though is give you at least some extra notice, so that groups are open on the 17th. You can open your groups. You cannot make a booking yet, but we want you to be able to be prepared to have your group space ready for when it goes on sale on the 24th. And then you're also just ready to already book into the groups you open. So make sure you take a look at all of the collateral that we've provided for you, and that you pick out the voyages that you think are going to be great for your team and for your clients, and open those groups so that they're ready on the 24th. And then we have the amazing Coral Princess doing a Royal Cruise as well. And Kyle's going to be giving us an overview on World Cruise, which I'm super excited about. And I want to add in, you guys, I'll say, guys, talk about World Cruise. Do you have anybody who wants to go on a World Cruise? And most people will say, guess what they say? I don't have anybody who wants to do the World Cruise. Really? How do you know if you don't that you don't have this client if you don't talk about it? Like the stories that I have been told from our travel advisors about how they secured a World Cruise were simply by talking about it. Putting it out there is an option. And honestly, you don't know unless you talk about it. So please make sure that you're putting it out there as an option, especially when somebody's looking for something different, exotic. You know that they have the time on their hands, then you should definitely be putting World Cruise in front of them as an option. All right, Kyle, what do we got going?
All right. So yeah, we're really excited to be sending Coral on a true world cruise again. So it's been a few seasons since she's done an actual circumnavigation of the globe. So we will be returning to that instead of the Circle Pacific itinerary for 2028. So like we used to do, you can board in either Fort Lauderdale or LA as a round trip, going to 49 destinations in 24 countries. A lot of late nights, overnights, scenic cruisings. A lot in here, so we'll break it down a little bit, segment by segment. And it is on board the Coral Princess, so very manageable, and it's our smallest ship, but still has all the amenities of a princess ship, but really good home for 4 months at sea. So, and a lot of balconies.
Yeah, 2,000 of your best friends, because once you finish this world cruise, they really are your best friends. Like it's a pretty, I think that's a really nice amount of people. Like, I think you're probably still meeting people well into the cruise, but by the time you get off, you're all best friends.
Yeah. All right. Yes, as I mentioned, you can do the complete round trip from both Fort Lauderdale or Los Angeles. So really easy to do from either the West or the East Coast. And then we do break it down into smaller segments. If someone doesn't necessarily have 4 months to spend at sea, there's some really cool sectors they can do with options to board in Fort Lauderdale, LA, Cape Town, South Africa, Sydney, or Rome.
And we've got 2028 World Cruise round trip voyages that we'll let Kyle take us through.
Sure. So yeah, this is the full 115-day circumnavigation that you can do from Fort Lauderdale or LA. So you can see going back to the true world cruise itinerary. So starting with the Panama Canal voyage over to the West Coast before going to some of the highlights of the South Pacific and the remote islands down there, Samoa, Fiji, then doing New Zealand, Southern Australia, crossing the Indian Ocean, doing Mauritius, and then a really enhanced, stepped up South Africa program, which is new for this voyage.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, really excited about that, with an inaugural call in there that we'll talk about in a little bit, to Mossel Bay. And then going up and doing really the highlights of the Med before crossing the Atlantic back to North America.
This is really exciting because, like I said, that we just talked about 27 and how that's the Circle Pacific, right? So like you said, this is a true opportunity. And I think some people have been sitting on the sidelines to get something that was more like a world cruise. And here we have it with plenty of time to plan.
Yeah.
All right. Our 2028 World Cruise segment voyages.
All right. So yeah, so I'll just break down each of the legs because it can be kind of hard to look at the 115 days in whole. So these are all the different segments that can be combined for either the full 115 days or any kind of combination of these. So the first is kind of a Panama Canal voyage. So starting in Fort Lauderdale through LA. What's really cool is that Coral Princess is specifically designed for the historic locks of the Panama Canal. So it's one of the few cruise ships in the world that can go through there. So you'll get a really cool scenic cruising for the entire day down there before going to El Salvador and Mexico, before coming up to LA.
Beautiful.
Right, and then we have the crossing down to Sydney. So I mentioned you get Hawaii, some of the really remote South Pacific islands that this is the way to see them because they're not easy to get to otherwise. So Samoa and Fiji, before doing New Zealand, which is one of the most requested destinations we get for world cruise voyages. So you get Auckland, Napier, Wellington, New Plymouth, which is one that we don't go to super often, but it's really highly rated. So we're excited to return there before going over to Australia.
And I want to call out here too that there's some highlights on here, includes Moore Shore in Honolulu and Auckland. So Honolulu, I know that that's usually like a late departure, like so that you're there in the evening and you can experience like a luau, or there's a lot more you can do when we leave Honolulu late. And then Auckland actually has an overnight. And so you guys do a really good job of making sure that we give the most time possible in these highlight ports. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. You're spot on, Honolulu. We specifically stay late enough so that the guests can do one of the luau's and then get back to the ship in time. So
Yep.
it's a really good experience. All right. And then we have the segment that goes from Sydney, Australia over to Cape Town via the south of Australia. So even if people have been to Australia before, there's a good chance they haven't been to this part of it. So Melbourne, Adelaide, and then Perth, Western Australia, which is the most remote capital city in the world. Before crossing over to Mauritius and Reunion, which again are like two really remote islands in the Indian Ocean. And then we have this really stepped up South Africa program. So we included South America in the past, and some of the feedback we've gotten is that it just isn't enough time there. It's a highlight. And so how do we give guests more time there? So we've done that by adding Port Elizabeth, and we are going to go to Mossel Bay, which is an inaugural call for us, somewhere we've never been. It's kind of what I would describe as like the Cape Cod of South Africa. So a sleepier beach town, lighthouses, beaches, that kind of stuff, before going on to Cape Town. But what's really cool is that by going to Port Elizabeth first, that's where you can get on a safari if you choose for a couple days.
Oh, wow.
Up with the ship in Cape Town. So
wow, that's really cool. I think we did this a long time ago. Because I've been with Princess a long time, so I'm old enough. Unfortunately, I'm aging myself to remember that. I think we did that many years ago. But how phenomenal to have it back. And then I want to just give you guys your kudos, because you guys always amaze me with the itineraries that you're able to provide. And you never rest on your laurels, right? You guys are always trying to bring something new, something exciting. And also, as you mentioned, listening to the guest feedback, right? So kudos to you guys, to your team, for doing all this heavy lifting and all the work to deliver such amazing itineraries.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Yeah.
I do have to say, just on the guest feedback too, when guests get the survey, there's a couple of questions in there that ask about what you thought about the ports, and we absolutely that drives a lot of our decision making. So definitely encourage you to answer that question.
Amazing.
That helps us.
Thank you. Fill out the surveys, guys. We do listen.
All right, and then we have what I think is one of the best segments of this world cruise, which is the positioning up from Cape Town via Namibia, the Cape Verde Islands, the Canaries, and then doing the absolute highlights of the Med. So places like Cairns,
wow,
Portofino,
wow,
into Portofino via tender. And usually we go to like Genoa, and then you take a tour there. We're going to go right into Portofino, right into the Amalfi Coast, Sicily, just some of the really good highlights of the Med.
And you guys have been asking us about Africa. So listen, they have delivered on some opportunities to visit Alaska with Princess. So make sure your clients know about these. I'm certain this is going to sell really well. So Coral Princess, March 9th of 2028.
Right. And then we have the positioning back to Fort Lauderdale. So like I said, going right into Portofino, then Barcelona, Seville, again, adding time in Africa. So we're doing both Tangier and Casablanca, which, similar to in Cape Town, will allow for overland tours. So you can get to Marrakesh and see the markets at nighttime and things like that. By having those 2 days there, it allows for those overland opportunities. And then back to Fort Lauderdale via the Azores and Funchal, again, some of the most remote islands in the Atlantic.
Again, just if you ever see more ashore, just drill into those areas, because you're going to find out that we either stay there much longer than we normally would have, because there's additional things to see, or we might even be doing it overnight. So more ashore means special things there, and you want to call those out. Thanks, Kyle. We also have the 2028 World Cruise reference flyer. So this is a wealth of information. There's a QR code there for you to access it. Again, if I move too quickly, you can also always find this on OneSource. But you definitely want to print this out. There's digital versions as well if you don't want to like print it out and have paper on your desk. But You want to have it at your fingertips. And again, you definitely want to be talking about this, and you never know who's going to be interested. There are also even younger people that are now sailing on world cruises because of the work from home, the fact that lots of people are working from home now and can work from anywhere. So there's people younger than you would expect that are also still interested in the world cruise. So just make sure you're offering it and putting it out there. And then we have the cruise sales tools as well. So we've got the 2028 World Cruise at a Glance flyer that is available for you to share. And again, you can dual brand it. We always leave a space there for you to put your stamp of approval on it and your information so that the guest/client can contact you with more questions. And then we wouldn't be doing this correctly if we didn't have an early booking offer, right? So for 2028, we do have an early booking offer that runs from March 10th through May 31st. The offer that we're providing is up to $3,000 onboard credit, Princess Premier included, and we all know what a bargain that is, right? That includes your gratuities, that includes your Wi-Fi, and that includes your beverages. So, I mean, honestly, this makes this world cruise all inclusive. It's pretty incredible. Premier also has the unlimited specialty dining and also the unlimited digital photo package for all of those amazing pictures they're going to take during their world cruise. Captain Circle members receive an additional $3,000 onboard credit during this booking period as well. And then you can scan for tools and assets that you can share easily with your client base. Okay, now also we're doing the same thing where we're allowing the groups open for sale now. So we're doing it early. And then the open for sale is also now. So Coral Princess 2028 World Cruise, get the word out. That is the key to success. Whenever you ask your counterparts, if you know someone who sold a world cruise, ask them how they did it. And you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, I spoke about it. I shared it. I wasn't afraid to tell people that this was an amazing opportunity. And you never know who is going to want to take advantage of it. And especially with that early booking opportunity, you want to start talking about this right away and sending those sales tools out. Thank you, Kyle. Stick around because maybe you can stick around and help me answer some questions that have come up as well.
Sure. I'll be here.
Oops, I'm sorry. I'm going to go back. Find your Princess sales rep. So we have an amazing business development team. They are the key to our team's success. They are so knowledgeable. They're so eager to work with you. You can scan here on this QR code to find your contact. This is also on OneSource, and it's on princesspartners.com in case you have not registered on OneSource yet. Easy to find. Just pull that up and figure out who your business development manager is. Reach out to them. We're here to help. They want to work with you. They're excited to get to know you and help you grow your business with Princess. And then don't forget, we want to like Carmen on Facebook. So it's facebook.com/princessvpsales. There's lots of insider scoops that go up there. Carmen shares a lot about things that are happening in the industry, events that we're all attending. There's lots of shareable posts that you can share with your clients as well. So make sure you're following her on Facebook. And then we're going to do some Q&A. And while we do the Q&A, I'm going to land us on the QR codes for some of those amazing assets that we shared a few minutes ago. All right. Kyle, you're still on with me, correct?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Can you do me a favor and read the questions?
Sure.
Okay. Brandon's going to pop them up.
Okay.
Can you guys not see them?
Can you see them, Kyle, on the screen?
Yes, I can see just the chat on the right, correct?
Yeah, I'll read this one. It says,
thanks, Brandon.
Thank you.
Do you have social media assets such as videos and pictures that I can use?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was a great question. And again, we shared that on OneSource that there is a plethora of things available to you. And they are segmented out by social media platform, right? So there's one for Instagram, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's anything you could think of, we have it there for you. So If you're not registered yet, you could dip your toe into information about Princess on princesspartners.com. But I really recommend that you take the time to get registered with us so that you can get into OneSource and also be able to access all of these amazing marketing assets.
And then another one. This one's from the chat, and I think, Kyle, you could answer this one. Do you get to get off in Antarctica?
We do not. So ships of our size are not able to actually, there's, as you can imagine, it's a very protected area of the world. And so ships of our size, we're just too big, too many guests to allow passengers ashore. But the scenic cruising we do, we get very close. You are like right in the heart of it. And the good news is we just have the amenities of a big ship that the expedition ships can't offer. So you do not get to actually set foot in Antarctica, but you get the full experience.
Then we got, do you offer special discounted single supplement rates?
So on some voyages we do, but they're limited, the ones that we do. We do have a list that we post on OneSource that will tell you which voyages have a special rate. Otherwise, it's usually the 200%.
And then, will Princess resume sailing from Galveston after this year?
Unfortunately, we don't have plans to return at this moment. So make sure that you're telling your clients about our last season there, and that they take advantage of us being in Galveston for 2026. We currently don't have plans to return, but if that changes, we'll be sure to let you know.
That was it from our questions that I noticed. And it looks like our moderators have been answering a lot in the chat as well.
Okay. Thanks, Brandon. I really
No
appreciate you chiming in and reading those questions for me. Kyle, I want to say a huge thank you to you for taking the time to go run through this with us and share your insights and the information about the amazing itineraries that you and your team have put together.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And then I'm going to leave you all with this. I know I've said it a million times already today. Talk about the World Cruise. That is the only way you're going to find out if you have a client who's interested. Do not be afraid. Put it out there. And then again, we also these wonderful segments as well. So maybe if they don't have time for the full cruise just yet, you could put it out there. It can be a life list item that they're going to do in a future year, or they can decide they're going to take a segment of this wonderful, amazing opportunity. And we are back in Africa and offering some voyages there in 2028. So it's so amazing, so exciting. Thank you guys for spending your time with us today. We will be in touch with you again about our next Connect with Princess. That's coming pretty soon in April, and more to come on that. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your time with us, and we will see you soon.